Good morning. For today's video, our topic is multiplying fraction by another fraction. Today, our story is all about a hardworking farmer. A farmer plowed one-fourth of his field. Then, he planted rice on two-fifths of the plowed part. What fractional part of his field was planted with rice? Again, a farmer plowed one-fourth of his field. Then he planted rice on two-fifths of the plowed part. What fractional part of his field was planted with rice? So let's solve. But before that, what are the steps in multiplying fraction? Step 1. Multiply the numerator. One-fourth times two-fifths. Our numerator is 1 and 2. So let's multiply 1 and 2. So 1 times 2, the answer is 2. Step number 2, multiply the denominator. One-fourth times two-fifths. Our denominators are 4 and 5. They are dissimilar fractions. But in this case, we do not need to get their LCD or least common denominator, just like in addition and subtraction of dissimilar fractions. We just need to simply multiply the denominator. So 4 times 5, the answer is 20. So our fraction is 2/20ths. Step number 3, write the answer in lowest term. So we have 2/20ths. So let's get the factors or the prime factors of 2. So obviously, we have 2 because 2 is the only even prime number. How about 20? We have 2 times 2 times 5. And to get the lowest term of the given fraction, we need to cancel the prime factors or the common prime factors, and that is the greatest common factor or GCF. And their GCF is 2. In this case, no number remained to the numerator's place. So with that, we will put 1 as the replacement of uh, the lost number in the numerator. Remember that 2 times 1 is equals to 2. We do not put 1 because 1 is a special number. And in the denominator space, we have 2 and 5. So we need to multiply 2 and 5. So 2 times 5 will give us 10. So the lowest term of 2/20ths is 1/10. So it means that 1/10 of the field was planted with rice. Let's try another method or procedure in multiplying fraction by another fraction. We can use the cancellation method. So we have 1/4 times 2/5. So 1 is a prime number. Sorry, 1 is a special number. And 2 is a prime number. 5 is a prime number. 4 is a composite number. So we need to give the prime factors of 4, and that is 2 times 2. In this case, do we have common factors between 1 and 4? None. So it means we cannot cancel any number from 1 and 4. How about 2 and 5? Do they have the same common factor? None. So we cannot cancel any number from 2 and 5. How about 1 and 5? Do they have a common number to be cancelled? None. How about 2 and 4? Do they have a common number to be cancelled? Yes, we can cancel 2 in the numerator's place, and we can also cancel one of the prime factors of 4. So that is 2. So in short, we have 1/2 times 1/5. So 1/2 times 1/5. 1 times 1, so multiply the numerator, we get 1. Then next, multiply the denominator. So 2 times 5, we get 10. So we get the same answer, right? Because in our first method, we get lowest term of 1/10 after we get the GCF of 2/20ths. In this case, using cancellation method, we also get the same answer, and that is 1/10 after we canceled the common factors of the given number or fraction. Aside from that, we can also multiply fraction using a visual model. So again, we have 1/4 times 2/5. So in this case, we need to represent 1/4 in a form of illustration. So we need to draw 1/4. How are we going to show 1/4? In an illustration. So we have 1/4. So in this case, there is a whole rectangle, and the whole rectangle is divided into 4 equal parts to represent the denominator. And we shaded one part to represent our numerator as 1 or 1/4. So in this case, this illustration illustrates 1/4. So we only shaded one part of the whole that is divided into 4. Next, using the same rectangle that is divided into 4, we divide it again into small parts to represent 2/5. We have two groups of 2/5. So we shaded two parts to represent 2/5, right? We divide this whole rectangle into 5 small parts. Then we shaded 2 parts to show 2/5. So this is the first 2/5, and this is the second 2/5. Now, let's combine them together. The 1/4 illustration and the 2/5 illustration. If you can see, there are parts from both fractions that are being overlapped. In short, in Tagalog, nagpatong. And what is that part? So this part are the part of the two fractions that is being overlapped. Nagpatong silang dalawa. So, it means the numerator is 2. Why? If you can see, the overlap part is divided into 2 small rectangles. right? Now, let's count the small rectangle that we have here in our illustration. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So remember that the denominator represents the how many parts the whole is divided equally, and that is 20 parts. So the denominator now is 20, or simply 4 times 5, we get 20. We can simplify 2 over 20 by reevaluating our illustration. So we can group them into two small rectangle, combine the two small rectangle, then we get one part. We have the second part. We have the third part, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, then ninth, and we have 10th. Now, if you still remember, that part represent the combination of two fractions that are being overlapped. That's why we can say that our numerator now is 1. And again, this whole is divided into how many equal parts? That is 10. So it means that the lowest term of 2 over 20 is 1/10 using the visual model. Always remember, how do we multiply a fraction by another fraction? So here are the steps in multiplying fraction. Step 1, multiply the numerator. Step 2, multiply the denominator. Step 3, write the answer in lowest term. And we can also use cancellation method and visual model in multiplying fraction. Now, these are math tanong of the day. Maria bought 4/5 meter of cord for the piping of her sister's blouse. She used 3/4 of the material. What part of the cord did she use? Again, Maria bought 4/5 meter of cord for the piping of her sister's blouse. She used 3/4 of the material. What part of the cord did she use? Again, thanks for watching. Do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye!